States called Thanksgiving. So, for any of you who are in the free world that are not a hostage, that may be American citizen that may have come back to the United States for some turkey, because the people of Gaza, called Hamas, have decided to keep you hostage. But in a special select case, on a 3-to-1 offer, we're going to give you, for every 3 Hamas people that were arrested, we'll give you 1 Israeli. Welcome, everybody. My name's Stuart Brisgell. That's David Solomon. This is the Rent Network, where we're going to give you an uncensored conversation on a wide range of topics, ideas, and lately, since October 7th, it seems like it's all about what's going on in the Middle East. So join us today as we dive into what I think is almost the absurdity of a ceasefire for 4 days. But sometimes we do deeper issues that are affecting society. And so join us anytime. Check our website out, www.therantnetwork.com. But for right now, that's David, and I see his eyes just rolling in the fishbowl going, what in the hell is Stuart introducing? And to be honest with you, it's a topic that David's going to be far more of an expert on, but I'm going to give my 2 cents to start. If you take a terrorist organization and you allow them 4 days, what is a terrorist organization going to do in the 4 days? I mean, just think about it for a second. I mean, none of you are war experts. We all play Risk or Stego or play poker. But, let me ask you a question. If you give someone an edge, what are they going to do with that edge in a conflict? Now, it's not just me, or at least I think it's not just me, but I know what I would do given the circumstances being reversed. I'd spend that 4 days getting everything ready to hit it all over again. But you know what? The world doesn't seem to give a shit. They just want a ceasefire. David, what do you have to say about this?
You talked about Israel wanting to give a ceasefire, and Stuart, you're 100% right that that's what the world is saying they want. But in reality, what they want to see is the defeat of Israel. The amount of hate, these comments from, a Minnesota school board, we're calling for ceasefire as a teachers union. Like, what in bloody hell is this your business? And it's amazing how everybody has to have an opinion. And you're right, Stuart, we're not hostage, experts here, but it seems like all of a sudden the entire world is experts when it comes to military affairs, when it comes to the Israel-Palestinian conflict, and when it comes to understanding the difference between a culture that lives in the 21st century and a culture that wants to stay in the 8th century. Hamas is a terrorist organization through and through. They went out and killed 1,400 people in the most brutal way. They celebrated this with GoPro filming of raping women. There is, we talked about this on Monday. We said it was UNICEF Day. I apologize. It was World Children's Day. And on World Children's Day, we protested in front of UNICEF to talk about how you are not releasing the children. Where is UNICEF to release the children that were kidnapped? Babies, toddlers that were kidnapped by Hamas, silence. And here we are on November the 22nd. We wake up this morning to find out that, sure enough, Israel has negotiated a deal with Hamas to release 50 prisoners, children, women. 3 Americans are going to be part of that release. Excuse me. And Israel has to, as part of the deal, stop for 4 days for humanitarian purposes, which I'll get back to in a second. But Stuart's 3-to-1 that he commented about was Hamas said from the beginning their goal of kidnapping was to release every prisoner Palestinian in Israeli jails. Now, let me put it into perspective, people. Israel did not arrest a bunch of thugs who went ahead and shoplifted. Okay, this is not what these arrests were. These are arrests by women, children. Now, when we say children, that means under the age of 18. So you've got teenagers who threw Molotov cocktails, who fired guns with real bullets at Israeli soldiers and were arrested. And everybody says you can't do that to children. They're not children anymore, people. They're brainwashed soldiers for Hamas, Islamic Jihad, and all of the other terrorist organizations that are harbored in the Palestinian area. And I'm getting sick and tired of the world equating our children that go to a school, who live a semi-normal Western life, to what they're experiencing in Gaza. And I hear they're already the left saying, but if it wasn't for colonialist Israelis, they wouldn't be living like that. And that in itself is the most simplistic, stupid remark you could possibly make when you think about the fact that Hamas is terrorizing its own people, brainwashing its own people, teaching children hate. Well, congratulations. If you don't understand what means teaching children hate, then you haven't been looking at American universities or Canadian universities lately, where we're literally educating hate. Folks, this deal stinks. This deal stinks big time because Israel cares more about its citizens to return 50 hostages in exchange for 150 animals. Yes, I'm calling them animals. Animals who went out and attacked Israeli soldiers to hurt, to kill, not just soldiers, people, but also civilians. They go in with knives and stab them. They take their cars and try to ram them. They are not innocent. I will repeat it. They are not innocent. And yet the world hears children and women and go, oh, poor them. In a world of gender neutrality, in a world where the left is pushing for such idiotic ideologies, and saying we shouldn't treat women differently than men, and we shouldn't this and we shouldn't that, we're treating women differently than men. Women could not be terrorists, Stuart. Do you hear that? Women just can't be prisoners of war. Women cannot attack, it's just unheard of. It is the left once again toying with the wording to suit their idiotic narrative. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've seen a lot of Golda's Meir's quotes have been floating around the internet, Stuart, and a lot of it is talking about when the Arabs care more about their kids, we will have peace, and that's exactly what's happening. Israel is going to do everything in its power to return all 240 or 236 that are remaining in Hamas's captivity, whether they're dead or alive. And Israel has been willing to let Hamas rearm for 4 days. This is not about giving humanitarian aid, people. Don't be stupid and foolish, because you all are if you believe that that's what's going to happen. Now, this is about Hamas taking and stealing from their own people to rearm so that they can turn around and start attacking Israel again. So this deal, Stuart, I get it. We need to return it. But don't be naive, folks. You're duped. You're stupid if you believe that this is a good deal and you believe that this is going to help towards a two-state solution and peace. You're all bloody naive.
David, I'm glad you got that off your chest. But you want to know something, David? I would like to see these progressives go to these towns on the border right by Gaza. I mean, really, if it's safe to release and give a 4-day break, why don't these people put their money where their mouth is? This is something that we have forgotten in American culture. And David, I'm calling it Americano culture. Why? Because it's put up or shut up. That's truly an American, actually Texan cliche. Put up or shut up. Okay? Put up an oil rig, get oil, right? There's a lot of history here. But for whatever reason, they're all cowards. I don't see Talib wanting to get on a plane, on an El Al plane, because that's the only plane that goes there, land in Israel and go to the Gaza side. I don't see her. I don't see her press group going, we're going to go there and send our support for Gaza. No. She's a racist over here hiding behind her coffers of money because no one has yet discussed about following the money, which is something that the world has now become numb and quiet to. David, listen to me very carefully. Universities have been receiving a steady stream of funds, somehow from the Middle East. I don't know. This is somewhere where people have been silent. Academia has been silent because, hey, man, we're getting money and endowments. They're they just lost how many billions of dollars of funds? A ceasefire is a rearmament to live to fight another day. David, why don't we let all the criminals out of the jails? Let's give them a chance to rearm and do it all over again. We'll just catch you all over again. I think because we need to go clean out the jails, pressure clean them, polish them up. Let's let every criminal out of the prison system. It's lunacy at its best. And the concept is, you're right, Israel regards life more than even anyone in the United States. Do you think the Biden administration cares about Americans? They allowed how many people in Afghanistan get roasted, murdered, and killed? Whether it's Hillary Clinton, whether it's Joe Biden, whether it was President Obama. The atrocities that took place in the Middle East have just blown wide open. Who cares about life more? And you're right, Golda Meir always had a comment, that if the Arabs put their weapons down, there would be peace forever. It's sad. But the world seems to be ignorant to history. And I don't understand why. I don't understand why the world is ignorant to history.
because you teach it. Because you're not teaching it. You're not, Stuart. Stuart. It's not only you're not teaching it. You're not teaching it right. We apply lefty morals, our Western morals, as they like to call it, and I'm getting tired of that term because I find it contradictory, where we're sitting here and going, well, you can't teach the truth. So we have to jade it. So we can't tell people what the true nature of these terrorists are. We can't tell because then it comes out as Islamophobia. So we're being slammed for teaching the truth. It's okay for a school to tell everybody that, Jews are bad, and Jews are colonialists, because look, we have proof. Israel conquered the land in 1948. I mean, it's wrong, but that's how they're teaching it. But when it comes up to teaching how the Muslims or these terrorists are acting, no, we won't teach it because it's going to be perceived as Islamophobia. And why should we create this hate? And that's why people don't understand what's going on over there. You're talking about two different cultures, people. One that espouses Western values, one that espouses, what we espouse here in the West.
Western values. Western values. You just said something. I got to grab you. Western values. Okay, David, is Western values preventing women from walking or going unaccompanied to the grocery store?
Stuart, it's simple.
No, David. But I think you're failing to understand that everyone understands what Western values are. Stuart, so, David, do you have your wife accompanied with someone to go to the grocery store because she can't go out alone?
It's worse. It's worse than what you're just describing. But what you've got out in the middle, what you've got out there is women cannot get an education. Women are not encouraged to read. Women are considered property, Stuart, property of their husbands. They're not their spouses. They're not their partners. They're property, which means you can deal with them any way you want. So for those of you, and I know that all of a sudden there's this movement to convert to Islam here in the West, which is hilarious. Okay. And you think this is the religion of peace? Yes, there is in its core a peaceful mindset. But the people practicing it and forcing it upon you people aren't looking at peace. It's not that at all. Women have no rights at all. In fact, your male child reaches a certain age, can beat the mother up. It's okay. That's not Islamophobia, people. That's what they practice in Gaza. Because I'll ask you this question, Stuart. Can you name me which country has the highest university education rate amongst women, Muslim women, in the Middle East? Can you tell me which country?
Not United Arab Emirates, not Pakistan. Israel?
So how's that in Israel, women have the highest education rates in the Middle East, the Muslim women? And when I hear people saying that it's an apartheid state, they're being treated badly, okay. Stuart, what we're seeing and what we're hearing today is Israel needs to be crushed. This is what the left wants. This is what the haters want from Israel. And this hostage deal is just one of those ways to hurt Israel. The humanitarian aid that they keep crying for is just another way to rearm Hamas. It's not about, listen, folks, all these protests that we see about people saying we need a two-state solution, blah, 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 blah. You're just throwing out mantras without any substance. Humanitarian aid is another one of those substances. You tell me, Stuart, Where's the water at? Where's the electricity at? Where's the fuel at? And if you're going to tell me Israel's cut it off, yes, Israel's cut it off because Hamas is stealing it. Please don't fill in the blanks, media, because God forbid you should report the truth. BBC,
David,
CBC, all of them, all of them. You're distorting the truth. The reports are gross. Okay, reporting is gone to the toilet, and you know what? You're purposefully misleading people to believe that this humanitarian aid is really going to do something. It isn't. And when before you go, I'm sorry, let me last comment, sir. And before you blame Israel because Israel bombed the crap out and ruined everything, whatever, let me remind you that they did find tunnels in the Al Shifa hospital. They did find armaments coming out of their ears. But you know why you won't see that on the BBC and you won't see it on the other ones? Because it's like they're trying to treat it like when the United States went into Iraq and said there's no weapons of mass destruction. That's what they're doing. They've distorted the truth. Because when you look at the real media feeds, by the way, and BBC was caught red-handed, moving armaments out of the picture to make sure that the pictures looked appropriate for what they wanted to reveal. So this humanitarian aid people is going where? They found a bomb preparation plant, in a mosque. They found guns under a girl's bed. They found, and did you see any of that? Probably not. That is thanks to your media. And that's why this whole exchange for hostages, Stuart, and with this, I'm going to wrap it up, is misunderstood completely. It's not what it's going to be at the end. It's going to be a rearmament of Hamas. And this war won't end any quicker as a result.
well, David, let's hope and pray that there is maybe some chance. But again, being the guy that I am, I'll just say what I really feel. Yep, I hope in 4 days they just do something stupid and they just get annihilated and the world just sits back and relaxes. Thanks all for tuning in today. That's my opinion. This is the Rant Network. We trust you enjoyed and got some valuable insight in today's dialogue. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern, you can engage us social media. You can engage us by PMing us. I don't care what walk of life. I've had some pretty interesting messages, David. I forgot to tell you from the Middle East. Primarily an Arabic script that I had to copy and paste. Quite funny. Anyways, guys, we genuinely enjoy your feedback. Until the next episode, stay alive, be happy. Know that this media world is just full of crap. David, wrap it up.
Take care.